We're going to do question 6-16b. And this actually is something that is started in the text. It's an example, a case, on page 623 to 629. And in the text, they've done all of the transactions for January, February, and March. And they've got the ending balances given for as of March 31st for all of the different payroll accounts. And so now what you're going to be doing is April, May, and June, the second quarter. So let's just begin. April 1st, paid the Treasurer of the Union the amount of union dues withheld from workers' earnings during March. That was given in the illustration. If you go, you're going to, as I'm talking here, you're going to have the T accounts or ledger cards up to date with the balances from March 31st, and then you're going to be adding entries from that you make from April, May, and June. So the March 31st balance was $100, and that's where we got this number from right here. On the 15th, payroll is total payroll is $83.10. All wages and salaries are taxable, and then it gave you the federal income tax, state income tax, and $140 for union dues. So debit wages and salaries for the total. You have to calculate the withholding, but it says they're all taxable. So the employees' withholding is 0.042 times the 8310, and the FICA is 0.0145 times the 8310. And then the rest were given, and then you just net that out and get the cash. The employer's share of the FICA is 0.062 times 83,000 or 8,310. But the FICA is the same. The HI is the same. It's the 0.0145. So it's the 120. The FUTA, or FUTA, depends on how you want to say it, is 0.6%. So it's 0.006 times the 8310. And it was given on page 624 that the state rate for unemployment is 2.3%. So 0.023 times the 8310 gives you the 191.13. Next journal entry, paid the Treasurer of the state the amount of state income taxes withheld from workers' earnings during the first quarter. So you're going to be paying whatever the balance was in the state income tax account as of 3/31, which is 546.92. And then the payment for the FICA taxes and employees' federal income tax withheld on the March payrolls. Again, the balance that's in the ledger card, which you should be posting to keep a current balance, the balances in those accounts as of 3/31 were these three numbers. So that's what you're going to be paying. And that's pretty much how all those liabilities go. So here we have another one. Now this is the SUTA. And again, whatever the balance was, here's the balance, 571.78, was the balance at 3/31. So that's the payment that you're going to be making. Now you'll notice I've skipped some of these other transactions, and that is because if we're just repeating, then I'm assuming that you're able to figure out how we did them. I'm showing you sort of the first time you do a payroll, and then some of the more, if there's something that's a little bit different. So let's go to the June 15th payroll. This is June. And it says here, All wages and salaries are taxable except only 4210 is taxable under FUTA and SUTA. So we have to make just a slight change. All of these taxes are figured the same way we've been doing them all along, but the FUTA is 6% of the 4210 rather than the total gross of 9,110, and the SUTA is 2.3% of the 4210, not the gross. Part C is answering the following questions. Total amount of the liability for FICA taxes and federal income tax withheld as of June 30th. And you just go to the ledger card and find the ending balance and transfer it over here. These are the balances. So that's the total liability. You've got your OASDI, your HI, and then your federal income tax. Total amount of liability for state income taxes. Again, just go to the ending balance as of 6/30, and that's what you owe for the state income tax. The amount of FUTA the amount of FUTA taxes that must be paid to the federal government on or before August 1st, and that's assuming July 31st is a Sunday, is 0. And the reason for that is, even though the ending liability is $387.48, if it's less than $500, you don't have to pay your FUTA unless you hit the very end of the year, and then you have to pay it, even if it's less than $500. But until then, you're not required to pay it. Question number 4, the amount of contributions that must be paid to the state unemployment compensation fund. This is the ending balance as of June 30th, so $913.57. The total amount due the treasurer of the union, this $290, this is the ending balance, and it says in the instructions that that has to be paid on or before the 4th day of the following month. So this would be due on or before July 4th. Number 6, the total amount of wages and salaries expense since the beginning of the fiscal year. Again, this is just the balance as of 6/30, taken from the ledger card. Number 7, the total amount of payroll tax expense since the beginning of the fiscal year. Again, this is just the ending balance as of 6/30. 8, using the partial journal below, journalize the entry to record the vacation accrual at the end of the company's fiscal year. And it just basically tells you it's $15,000. So really all they're wanting to know is, do you know what accounts to debit and credit? And it's vacation benefits expense and vacation benefits payable.